Welcome to WVVH-TV's coverage of the U.S. Open, coming to you from the Shinnecock Hills Country Club here in Southampton, New York. Take a look around. This is the U.S. Open here at Shinnecock Hills. Major event. As you can see, thousands of fans are in attendance here at the U.S. Open, coming to see this activity. And as we look around, you'll see all of the different tents and exhibit areas. Hi, I'm Ernie Shimizi for WVVH-TV, and we're coming to you from the Media Center here at the U.S. Open, Shinnecock Hills Country Club. And as you can see, this is day 3, Saturday, and there's a lot that's happening here. This is the Media Center where all of the media of the world submits their stories. And this has been an amazing USGA, U.S. Open, 118th edition, coming to you from Shinnecock Hills.
And smacked it over the fairway into the high fescue. He bogeyed the 8th, then the 9th. So Phil hoping to turn things around. Daniel Berger, though, what a round so far. 4 under through 14 holes, climbing up the leaderboard to +3, 7 shots back. Masters champ Patrick Reed with birdies on 1, 3, and 4, and a bogey on the second. He's 2 under through 4 holes, +3 overall. Players are making a move, Kevin. Mild conditions right now. How was that? That was for CBS Sports Radio Network.
Unbelievable. You're all set. God, and we're so proud of you. I mean,
so
you really set the standard in all of this. And there's nobody in the number 2 position, that's for sure.
Well, thank you. I've been doing it for a while, and I cover all sports in my early days, and I love all sports, but the last, say, 20 years, it's been really golf and some tennis, and you can see why I love golf. We're here at Shinnecock, and there's nothing better than this, right?
Being at Shinnecock with Liguori, but you're at all the major events. You cover all of them, and you know all of these players. Tell us your impressions of this U.S. Open.
Well, it's just been incredible. Shinnecock showing just how challenging it really is. And then when the weather kicks up, like this past Thursday, the wind's gusting at over 30 miles an hour, you saw how many stars just were tormented. Yes. And then yesterday with Dustin Johnson playing so well in that rain, it rained a little bit Friday morning, and yet he's still playing so well. So it's impressive to see Dustin Johnson doing so well in such tough conditions. And right now it's his championship to win or lose. I mean, if he can stay steady and focused, and he has nerves of steel, I think he'll close it out. But there's a lot of great talent behind him who are going to try to chase him down.
Well, he's been leading these past few days, but he is in great shape. I mean, he redefines what it means to be a star in this field. I was told that he spends his mornings working out and doing crunches and getting ready, so when he's out there, he's ready to play.
That's right. He's very focused. He has his routine. This morning he was out working out for an hour and a half. He goes through the same routine, which is really good, no matter if you're leading or not. I mean, he does that on the golf course too. You can watch, everything's pretty methodical and focused, and it's such a tough sport, and when you approach it the way he does, try to keep it simple, be very focused, then he's doing something right.
You give so much back to the community, and the Liguori Foundation is amazing, and what you've been able to do with your foundation to help so many.
Well, thanks so much. We had our 20th annual Charity Golf Classic at Atlantic Golf Club last week. We've changed it to different venues. We're so blessed to have so many great golf courses out here on the east end of Long Island. And so we raised money for cancer research and cancer awareness. And, the whole community gets behind us. We got tremendous support from Dennis Susskind, a buddy of yours, and Atlantic Golf Club. And just raised a record amount in the charity auction, and so every year, people come out. We sell it out every year, and we've been to Friar's Head, we've been to Sabonic, we've been to Maidstone, Hampton Hills, West Hampton Country Club, the Bridge. I mean, you name it. There's such great golf out here, so it's really great to really show off golf on the East End of Long Island to people who come in for this charity tournament all over the country, and it's for great causes.
Well, Anne Liguori, your name should be in every university and college as a role model for anyone who wants to get into this business. Your career, where you've brought it, the amount of fans you have, it's really so admirable. Very proud of you and all the good work you do, and the fact that you are a Hamptonite, that you're one of us out here when you're not in New York City with those FAN guys and CBS Sports and everything else that you're working on. But continued success to you. And so what's your final outcome of this event today? What do you think?
Well, the question is, does Dustin Johnson hold on, or does all the talent behind him, grab him? I mean, it just takes one mistake. I mean, you saw Ian Poulter falter in the second round, and, this course can do damage with anybody's psyche and anybody's game. So I think that's a question. Can the guy at the top maintain? And I'm actually going to start a new golf show on WFAN. It starts Sunday. It's every Sunday from 7 to 8. So it starts tomorrow, Sunday. And so everybody in the New York metropolitan area can call in and be able to talk golf. And this is 30 years in the making, this golf show. So I'm very excited about it.
Wow, and you're kicking it off here at the U.S. Open. Fantastic.
Yeah.
AnneLiguori.com, is that your website?
Yes, ANNLIGUORI.com, and people can follow me on Twitter at Anne Liguori, and Instagram, the Anne Liguori, and they can come befriend me on Facebook and follow my fan page on Facebook. So there's a lot of ways to connect.
It's Saturday here at the U.S. Open, and you could see plenty of people have come to enjoy this U.S. Open here at Shinnecock Hills Country Club. This is a major event, and as you can see, the crowds are crowding around. We're at the first hole here, but they're definitely keeping an eye on Phil Mickelson, who's out on the course right now. Yep, there's Phil Mickelson walking up. Just took an iron shot. He's one of the ones that's in contention here, but right now the lead continues to be held by Johnson with a 4-stroke lead above all the rest. But this has been one exciting U.S. Open coming to you from Southampton, New York, here at the Shinnecock Hills Country Club. If not for the USGA, we wouldn't be here at this U.S. Open. It's the USGA that makes all of this possible. And I'm with Sarah Brady, who's part of the USGA Foundation.
Yeah.
This is big news because this is something in your history of being around USGA, that is, for a lot of years. When did they start?
123 years.
123 years. This event, the U.S. Open here at Shinnecock, is 118 years.
118th, yeah.
So you know the connections, but something new. And what's new is the USGA Foundation.
Yeah, we've launched the USGA Foundation. We launched it at our annual meeting this past February. And it's really to ensure the health and vitality of the game that we all love. So we're investing in innovation. We're driving participation to grow the game by working with juniors and with women and with golfers with disabilities. We're preparing the next generation of leaders through our boat rights program, and we're celebrating our history with our museum.
You guys have always been a big tent. You've invited and people have been part of it. In fact, when you look at the history of the U.S. Open, discrimination was not part of the way you guys operated from the get-go. It's always been inclusive.
Absolutely.
And now this latest incarnation of the USGA, the foundation, you're bringing this to everyone.
Yeah, we want to have a place for every supporter. So it started as we have been fortunate to have the USGA members program, and the members program over the past 43 years, more than 2 million members have donated almost $500 million that the USGA has invested directly back into the game. And so, as we were talking with our members, what they said to us is they wanted to take a larger role, and they wanted to have a deeper impact, and they wanted to have a voice in the work that we're doing. And so, from that, it was the inspiration to really build the foundation to drive the game forward.
It's more than a game, isn't it?
Absolutely. For so many people, 25 million people, it's so much more than just a game. It's a lifestyle. It's healthy. It's healing. It's time spent with family. It's stories passed on from generation to generation. It's a business. It's impacting the local economy in a really positive ways. Absolutely, it's more than a game.
Right here, we're in your exhibit area here at the USGA.
The USGA Fan Clubhouse.
Fan Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Sarah, honor the one. It's a great new campaign that you guys are doing, and we want to share that with our viewers.
Absolutely. We're really proud of it. It's actually a tribute campaign because all of us who love and play this game have that one special person who introduced us to the game. So, for instance, mine was my grandfather. My grandfather introduced me to the game when I was 6 years old, and it was a really special story because my family was in a car. We were in a serious car accident. We were driving up the highway, and a car that was evading police was driving down the highway the wrong way, and we hit head on. And I was badly injured in that accident. So I had to, at 6 years old, I had to learn to walk again, to talk again, and to really have a new normal. And the doctors told my parents that the fact that I would live with some kind of disabilities was a given, but to the level that it would impact my day-to-day life was to be determined. And so they really wanted me to take an active role in my healing. And so my grandparents took an active role. So my grandmother played the piano, so she taught me to play the piano for manual dexterity and eye-hand coordination. My grandfather loved golf. He loved it. He played it every day. He practiced every day. He belonged to 5 clubs. And so I learned to walk again by walking alongside of him at the golf course. And I spent hours alongside of him. And I fell a lot, but I always got up. And my love for him transpired to this and transferred to this my great love of the game. And I wouldn't be who I am today were it not for it. And so I have such a deep love and commitment to this sport for the healing, for the competitive, for the camaraderie that it brings.
And now the foundation which you head for the USGA. Could we talk a little bit about the foundation and how our viewers can get connected and possibly even support the foundation?
Yeah, we'd love that. We'd love that. So you can go to usga.org and you can learn more about our priorities, the work that we're doing, the impact that we're making, some stories that are benefiting, stories of people who are benefiting, and there's a lot of ways that you can give and support on there as well.
And your website?
USGA.org.
An example of the media covering the U.S. Open. Here we are at the first hole, and we're awaiting Dustin Johnson's drive from 1. And the media is here waiting. The crowds are waiting. As you can take a look, as our leader in this U.S. Open begins his course today. But this is amazing. This is what the U.S. Open is all about. You have media from all over the world coming here covering this major event. It's so great to catch up with a friend. This is Naomi Hogarty, who's you're with a variety of different things, but Suffolk County Film Commission. You're one of the commissioners. My brother Greg is also one.
Yes.
And I know you're thrilled about the economic development of the U.S. Open.
It's amazing. There's so many people here. It's so great to bring people from all over the tri-state area and around the world to our hometown, to our neck of the woods, to fill up our hotels, to fill up our restaurants, to shop in our stores, to rent some of the houses. This is great. And, hopefully these people are not just coming for this. They're actually going to come back. Even the players. I was at a party last night at the Dune Deck in West Hampton. There were a lot of attendees and players that were at the U.S. Open, are here for the week or for the tournament. So it's
this helps everyone.
It helps everyone.
Politicians are very big at talking about that trickle-down effect.
That's right.
This is trickling.
No.
It's right here.
We're at the bottom. We're at the bottom right here.
All of us benefit from it.
And it's great. Look at all these people. Sold out. We even have the Long Island Railroad helping out with commuting. The commuting seemed pretty seamless. They got the buses and... it's a great event. It's great. These types of events are essential for our community. They really are.
Now, the Suffolk County Film Commission, which you are an important member of, You guys focus on productions and bringing.
Yep.
So tell us, you own a business,
I do.
91
East Productions.
91 East Production.
Yes.
We know you guys very well from the work you do for the Hamptons International
Yes.
Film Festival. And
Yeah.
we've been part of. Production is an important part of economic development,
Very
isn't
important. Particularly in the off season, we want to attract filmmakers out here for large and small productions, so we can fill up again our hotels and have people, be shopping in our stores and utilizing all of the other services and restaurants, etc. And I think this is one of the most beautiful places in the world to shoot a film, to shoot a commercial, photo shoot, you name it. Get in touch with Suffolk County Film Commission and we will help you make your film. We will help you save money. We'll connect you with the best locations on the eastern end of Long Island in Suffolk County.
In preparing the U.S. Open here at Shinnecock Hills, they cut down 500 trees, which sounds like a lot, but really what it was to bring this course back to the way it was back in the 1890s. There's been a lot of overgrowth, but one thing that still remains here is this fescue, which is a very famous part of the U.S. Open here at Shinnecock Hills, and it's very high. And you could imagine if you should land a shot in this, how difficult it is to get out. But thankfully, these players do not usually make that mistake. We're here at the first hole, and this is Dustin Johnson. He just took his first shot. And I'm with John Diat, who's with the East Hampton Star.
Correct.
And John, how's this been going for you?
It's been wonderful. The weather has just been fantastic. The scores have been higher than I would have anticipated. I mean, it was windy on Thursday, but scores were better on Friday. But the course is playing very tough. But this is really Dustin's, his to lose. I mean, he's in the driver's seat. So, but he's a wonderful player.
And isn't it amazing? I mean, the amount of players that started out on Thursday. And I think the big news is this has been a very tough course.
It is. I mean, I think it's one of the toughest. But I think in talking to some of the players, this has been to them one of their favorite courses to play in the world. So, but it's tough, and you saw it with Tiger Woods and others that couldn't make the cut.
And there's Dustin right in front of us here. You could see the cameras and press around him, and he's heading up to his first shot. And at this point in time, he's 4 strokes over and looking pretty good.
He's looking great. I mean, I saw him on the driving range for the last hour, and he was just hitting him long and hard, but he's got great touch, too.
Number 1 golfer in the world. That's a distinction I'll never have.
Nor I. We can dream, though.
It's amazing the science that goes into this sport. For those of us who play this on a friendly basis, we're wondering what iron should I pull out of my bag. Try to rotate them a little bit. It's like your tires. But could you imagine what's going through his head right now as he's planning this next shot?
It has to be an unbelievable feeling. I can't even picture it. I grew up playing the sand greens of Sag Harbor, the 9-hole course. I mean, I didn't even know what a green was until I was like 10 years old. So I can't even relate to this.
Well, that's a great course. If you could play there, you could play anywhere.
Exactly. I do miss the sand greens. Bob Bubka too. We both miss him.
We caught up with Bob a few times this week. He's such a legend in this sport.
Completely.
And to know that he's from Sag Harbor and he's brought his Sag Harbor mentality to the world, commenting on golf. So right now we're looking at Dustin. He's going to be taking his second shot. And he's setting up here. It's his to win.
It really is. When you have a lead like this. But listen, anything can happen. And you saw that with Ian Poulter on his second to last hole yesterday, triple bogeying when he was just 1 shot out of the lead. So 1 hole can certainly change things very, very quickly.
Absolutely. You don't have to tell me. I'm a Mets fan.
So am I. The season's over, right?
Never for us. All right, let's see. He's taking a shot right now. Well,
He's on the green.
he's on the green. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Could always tell by the crowd reaction.
exactly.
Those groans. I'm glad they're not around when we're playing.
No.
It's been great catching up with you, John.
It's a real pleasure. Always a pleasure. Love watching you
Hampton
guys.
Star, we love you guys. You've been around
Over 100 years,
Wow.
basically, and it's a wonderful paper, serving the community, and well written, wonderful people there.
It is the paper of the community, and
Yes,
we
it
wish
is.
you guys continued success. Your news is real news.
No fake news.
No, it's never been.
No,
never been.
absolutely.
And we appreciate all that the East Hampton Star does for the community. And thanks for catching up with us.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, we've been covering a lot of interesting stories here at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, but we just discovered the Minnesota 10. Now, I see the Minnesota 4 here. I don't see the Minnesota 10. And Lee, who is one of our people here, who works also with the USGA, said, Ernie, Bruce is in charge of the Minnesota 10, and those guys have a great story. So
In charge is not accurate.
I have no idea what you're going to say, Bruce, but I'm dying to know the Minnesota
My
10.
title is the Grand Poobah, please. So just want you to know that. In 1991, the U.S. Open was at Hazeltine, and we had about 25 volunteers. A friend of mine was a member there, asked me to set up a group, and here's another member.
So now we've got 5. We're
Yeah,
getting
we're
closer.
getting closer.
We're getting closer to that 10, so please.
So we ended up working there, and the following year was at Pebble Beach, and the director of marketing, her name was Diane Stracuzzi, came and worked with us for a week, and we worked with her, and she thought we had a sense of humor, and we were very good at verbal abuse, and so she invited us to go out there and join them, because Pebble at that time had the Bing Crosby, which needed 3,000 volunteers, and then they needed another 3,000 3 months later for the U.S. Open. And she said, would you guys consider coming out to volunteer at the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach? And we went, Pebble Beach? Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
and so we did that.
It's not Minnesota, but it's okay. It'll
and
do.
there were 10 of us. And so after that, the USGA, now we're there 2 years. We showed up. We were from Minnesota. We showed up on time. We knew what we were doing. They didn't have to retrain us. And they thought that was pretty neat, because volunteers are usually very good or not so good. And so they liked the fact that we were there, as we should be, every single day. So they asked us to go the following
You
year.
guys do a great job. Very official looking. What's your name, sir?
Bob Sigurd.
And Bob, what do you do in your volunteer capacity?
Well, one of my main jobs is to drive the players from the locker room down here for interviews.
Very important. A good man to know.
Oh, he is.
He might give me a tip on who's coming, but you never know. Maybe next one, 2026. And Daryl, good to meet you.
Nice meeting you as well. I have
you have
various
the complaint
functions.
desk, I see.
Yes, I'm in charge of the complaint desk, and we don't answer the questions. That's all there is to it.
And Jay?
I'm Jay Donlin. I'm one of the rookies here. I've only been doing this for about 7 years. I understand these guys are the originals, 28 years that they've been doing this now. So I just take orders and do whatever they say and, try and keep my nose clean. That's about it.
Tell them about Inside the Ropes. I think that
Inside the Ropes is kind of a neat benefit that we have. We walk with the media in support of just making sure they're going down not going down the middle of the fairway and kind of staying out of the way of the players and being where they're supposed to be. And it is a real nice privilege. We love it.
Excellent. And Bruce, you mentioned this is another part of your team.
My name's Craig. I'm a relative rookie like Jay, and I think my favorite task is the under the ropes, guiding the cameramen, the photographers, making sure they're in the right spots, making sure they get the best shots they can get.
Excellent. Yeah. We were mentioning this earlier. It's a not-for-profit, the USGA.
right.
And what you guys do as volunteers, if not for you, this wouldn't be possible. So we're looking forward. Now, next year, speaking of Pebble Beach, isn't it next year?
It is at Pebble. You
Wow.
bet.
So you guys have come full circle.
Well, this is our third time here. We've been to this event here 3 times, and then we've been to Bethpage once. So
Yes,
we've been
Bethpage.
visited this area 4 times. It's been great.
Wow.
We like paces.
Wow. Hey, Bruce, we have a new addition to our group of 10.
One of my original members of the Minnesota 10, Pat Logan, joined us after coming back from Desert Storm on a Friday, and he joined us on the weekend in 1991.
You must really love golf.
I do love golf, but when Bruce called me up, he said, what are you doing this next week? I said, well, I got a month off. I just came back from Storm. He said, good, I'll pick your butt up and we're going to go over and work the media center. And I said, okay, I can do that. So I've been doing that was 1991 and been doing it ever since. We've had some fabulous, fabulous times. I mean, it's the stories that we have behind the scenes we could do a book on. In fact, they're talking about doing a book on us now for when we come up on our 29th year at Pebble Beach.
And that's where it started, Pebble Beach.
Well, actually, it started at Hazeltine.
Oh, Hazeltine was where it started.
It was started.
But the first one you did outside of your
Yep.
home bases
Was Pebble Beach. Yeah, and that was tremendous. They set us up in a dormitory, a boys' dormitory out there, and that's where we stayed. And
Did you ever envision that it was going to grow to this?
no,
I mean, this is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we, when we asked, we all got called in at Baltusrol, and David Fay talked to us, and he said, gentlemen, he said, what do you feel you need to financially to do what you're doing? And we said, we don't want any money. He said, I love you guys. He said, now you're permanent employees of the United States Golf Association.
Well, it's the honor that you guys are part of it, and it is true, it's volunteer, but let me tell you, there are more than a few people that would, and you guys do pay because you're here for so many hours and you give so much, because there's no way you can capture this experience.
It's the love of the game for sure.
What does it mean? Well, just to wrap up here, because we've been covering the event the past couple of days. I mean, what does the U.S. Open mean to you?
Well, our
Let's start
job.
with you, Bruce.
Our job is to make this the best media center. Make these folks out here their job as easy as we possibly can. Make it as efficient. Let them allow them to get the story as fast and as quick as they can. If they run into problems, we're here to solve them. And to me personally, I want to be involved with the best media center over the Masters, over the Open, and over the PGA Championship. And that's kind of what we work towards. That's really important to us.
When I came back from Desert Storm, I went full-time police officer. So one of my jobs was, when we got out here, is they'd have me go out with whoever had the largest group. So I would work with them because it was nice having an extra cop.
How many years were you with Tiger?
Oh, 15 plus.
So he's inside the ropes, guiding the photographers.
Yeah,
15 years.
taking care of the incidents inside the rope if there's any. And
Just the logistics of it all. I mean, we're TV, we know what's involved. Just to make this happen, and you mentioned security, and you mentioned all the other things, for all of it to come together. And you guys play an important role, so I'm looking forward to next year, Pebble Beach. And,
Well, we're going to invite you to come on out. I might get you a free pass.
well, I'd have to be part of the Brooklyn 2.
Oh, yeah, or exactly. Well,
Although
there you
is
go.
a Brooklyn, Minnesota, isn't there? I think
Brooklyn Park.
All right, so we're close. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get
and
in.
Brooklyn Center, we have 2.
We'll get in under that technicality.
Ernie, I just want you to know that you can't leave without saying hi to our best driver, Bob Melander. We only have 2, but he's the best.
I'll pay you later.
All the way from Minnesota. What part of Minnesota are you from?
Suburb of Minneapolis.
Good golf in Minnesota, guys?
A few months of the year, yes.
We have the highest per capita of golfers in the United States.
Wow. Well, thank you for bringing your love of the sport here to Southampton, New York. And
Well, we love serving the USGA in any way we can, and we just get a big kick out of it.
thank you for joining us for our behind-the-scenes coverage of the U.S. Open 118th edition here at Shinnecock Hills Golf Course in Southampton, New York. The next time the U.S. Open will be joining us will be in 2026. For WVVH-TV, I'm Ernie Shimizi. Thank you for joining us.